Have you seen this hot new game by Bethesda? The Outer Worlds? I mean, Wilds. Sorry, Tangerine.
Bethesda.
Ah,
Doesn't
uh,
have nothing to do with this, right?
no. They had nothing to do with Outer
Okay,
Worlds
good,
either.
good.
That's Obsidian. They're
Phew,
just trolling.
you're kind of scaring me.
Okay, this is a really interesting game, and I'm gonna warn you now.
Yes.
Um,
Spoilers.
spoilers. I haven't completed the game yet, but this is one of those games where it's an incredibly heavily narrative-driven game, and I would say the best way to play it is to go in completely blind and don't know anything about the game. If you're interested in a mystery in space where you just get to fly around on a spaceship, then play this game and see what you think.
I guess the question I have is, so I don't know at this point in time. Okay, note this down in the Journal Book of the Universe. At this point in time, I don't know anything about this game other than this intro part where nothing happens.
See, the
I'm
intro,
currently the perfect space to play this game and learn the mystery without it being ruined.
and
However,
you
I've
said you
decided
won't.
to forego that. I want to know
I've
more.
tried to convince Tony to play this game before I talk about it, but he said
Right.
he doesn't want to.
To my point, can you explain to me the gameplay of you exploring these other worlds, like divulge this?
Yeah, so I will say
discover
the
this mystery.
the actual gameplay of the game is very light. I would
Yeah,
almost say
that's fine. I just want to know how interacts and what you do.
So you have a signal sphere. I think it's called a signal sphere or something. So you're scanning for frequencies
Right.
to look for things. There's also here you like everything on the home planet that you do before you get the launch codes to go into the ship is basically just teaching you how to play the game, which is quite nice because like a large part of the game is flying around on your ship and using your jetpack. So you will have to use jet controls a lot. And they, like when you launch the game, they say, we heavily recommend you use a controller. Which I found
really?
a little... So I'm using a controller here because of, like, this is my first time ever trying to learn just to use the ship controls. And you can see me just horribly failing.
I've seen people fail at this early stage, and I feel like I would prefer the keyboard. But I
No,
used to cover
no, no.
Facebook,
I looked it up and people were saying that the keyboard controls do not translate to the controller ones. It's
really?
like, yeah, like
Okay.
doing this for a couple of seconds, you pick it up really quickly, sort of thing. As soon as you start playing around with the controls, like it becomes very intuitive very quickly on the controller. But yeah, this is one of the things that I find is really smart about the game. Is basically the entire intro is just teaching you everything you need to know. While also doing it very slowly. Like you saw at the beginning there, I was just sitting roasting marshmallows. And I sent the rocket into a geyser and I wanted to see if I could fly it around in space, but it doesn't seem like I could, so...
That's the sun, right?
Yeah, that's
It's giant.
It's pretty big. But basically I'm just going around talking to people sort of thing. Talking about... You kind of learn the backstory through secondhand information about like the Outer Wilds research project, and basically they're kind of like the astronauts of this planet, and you learn that you're one of the first person to go to space with this new translator that's going to translate an ancient alien language, which is quite so that's another thing with the gameplay is you find a lot of these ancient alien messages and you can decode them because you have you're the first of your race to have this translator. This is teaching you the mechanics of taking snapshots, because you will get like a probe gun that shoots a little scout, so you can scout out areas that you couldn't normally get through or that are dangerous, because as you also learn in like the tutorial, there is this stuff called ghost energy that will harm you if you go into it, and you can only see ghost energy through the camera, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, okay. That's some spoilers. That
is it. See, this guy said that he said he could help me like build a bigger launch pad, and I was like, oh, maybe I can build a bigger launch pad and I can like upgrade my ship and stuff. But from everything I've learned, like I don't think you can like upgrade ship. I thought there might, like I went in completely blind in this game. I knew nothing about it. I thought maybe there would be some like crafting elements sort of thing. But there's not really at all. It's mostly just you flying around in your ship and repairing it. Like you learn how to repair stuff in the mines. So this is just teaching you how. So this is the frequency scanner. So this is teaching you. You put it on hide and seek mode, and you're trying to find these kids' radios. It's like kind of teaching you how to do that.
Is that the spy gun?
Here you talk to the person because there's people. So like when you scan for outwire frequencies, you're scanning through music. So you'll see like to find people, you can hear them. Like there's a guy playing like the banjo on the moon. There's a guy on like the twin planets playing the drums. Like that's a lot of the way you find NPCs and you can talk to them on planets.
Right.
So you learn about the Giant's Deep. So if you saw in the intro, there was that giant blue planet. That planet was Giant's Deep, and basically, as you learn in the intro, you found a statue, and you're going up to the observatory. You're going up to the observatory to get some launch codes for your ship, and you want to find out more about this ancient alien race, sort of thing. So this is the ghost energy I was talking about. It's super cool, but it'll burn the shit out of you, sort of thing. So look. So I can see that there's someone on this planet over here, and I can hear his harmonica. So if I went over there, I would know where to go to talk to him.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Interesting. Okay.
So this is showing you the ghost energy. So taking photos in like unsafe areas and like whenever you see these crystals, you know there's going to be ghost energy there, and it's going to kind of stop you from going that way, sort of thing. This teaches you how to use the jetpack. I always find these mines are really cool. Like they almost look like space, sort of thing. But these are just like
it's
rocks.
On purpose, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. So a lot of the time, you're either thrusting around on a ship or you're thrusting around on a jetpack, which is why it's so much more useful to be using the controller, because the controls are so much better, sort of thing. And then this just teaches you sort of how to fix your ship. Sometimes you'll be in zero gravity, and you'll have to. Yeah. But it's very simple. Basically, you just go up to it and you hit like X on it, and then it repairs it, sort of thing. Like if you're somebody who doesn't particularly like all of like the heavy ship flying, where you have to fly to different planets, there is an autopilot mode as well, which can help if you just wanted to like have a AI do most of the flying towards the planet for you, and then you could just experience the story by landing on the planet and doing things, which is nice because there's a bunch of options menu. Like when you find an ancient alien message to translate, it'll have that your tool will automatically pop up. That's on by default, which I found quite useful.
Like if you don't like the mechanics of the game, you can...
Yeah, and then of course if you don't want any help at all, then you can just turn this stuff off and just go, completely no hint sort of thing. But one thing I'll say about the game has so many subtle hints about where to go. And it's so intriguing, sort of thing, because as you can see there, when I woke up, I was immediately looking at Giant's Deep, and I saw a satellite exploding, and I didn't even think about it until much later into the game. So I guess at this point, I kind of have to go into some slight spoilers to kind of talk about the game more.
Okay, like super spoilers.
Not well. You'll learn what I'm about to talk about. You will learn within the first hour of playing the game.
Okay, but considering, okay. So the moment you only told me stuff that like you only learned from like the tutorial stuff. I guess. Pretty much. Okay, and I think that's fine.
But I kind of have to explain this to you.
I'm okay to keep on going.
Here's me on a planet. I've got my signal scope. I'm like exploring, looking around, translating the
This is it, isn't it? Yeah.
Naomi, yeah.
Yeah. It's so cool. I love the look of this. I don't know how this gives you like all this information, but
It looks cool, right?
it looks cool.
I'm just exploring. I'm just on the moon. So the first place I chose to go was I could go anywhere in this entire, solar system, and I was immediately just, oh, I'm going to go to the moon. It's pretty close. I should be okay. I'm just reading things. I'm just minding my own business, right? And then I'm just flying around. I'm going to my ship, and then this music starts playing. I was like, oh, this music's kind of weird. Okay. So I'm just looking around, minding my own business, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking at this thing. I was like, oh, this thing's turning. I wonder what's happening. This scared the fuck out of me. I was not expecting this. The sun just fucking explodes. I was like, what the hell happened? And then immediately you see one of these Naomi statues, or name, I don't know what. You see one of these statues that you saw before, and everything you did in the past 22 minutes goes back on like a little film, and it shows you what you did, and then you wake up again. But this time, instead of waking up without the launch codes, I now have the launch codes, and you can say like, wait, what the hell happened? Did I just die? But I can go straight into my spaceship, and I'm now, because what happened earlier, let's just skip around. You find this statue, and this is one of the ancient alien statues, and again, this is really, really a great way of giving the player information without just shoving exposition down their throat. This is like these things are terrifying as well. They move when you don't look at them.
I forgot about these.
This is why I said to you, I was explaining, it's intriguing, it's like a puzzle game, it's very like stuff, but it's also terrifying because you look at these things and then they disappear, and then you look back and then they're stood next to you, you're like, what the fuck? And now it's over there. And then you're like, okay, what the hell? There's like there's all these wonderful and wacky things. You look and then it moves, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a weeping statue.
Yeah, this is important as well because they literally explain how stars die and explode, which comes into play.
Yeah, the life cycle of a star. Yeah. That's cool. That'd be teaching about space stuff. That's really cool.
It teaches you about these crystals as well. You have one in your ship. This is how you get like gravity inside your ship, and these are important throughout the game as well. So basically, the museum's cool because it teaches you everything you need to know. I love this map. I think this map's really good. It just shows you everywhere you can go, sort of thing.
It's a more fancy KSP map. It's really good. Just love how like pocket scale things are. I think this is like a really like I don't know. I kind of a sucker for that.
And I was like, I was minding my own fucking business again, and then this scared the shit out of me. Was this statue just fucking turns around and absorbs your soul? So this is the reason you're kind of stuck in this time loop sort of thing.
Right. So that's everything up until that point in that loop until right now. Okay.
You always wait. I think I've so you kind of bind with that statue. I don't want to go into too deep because I know a lot more about how the statues work because of my playthrough and what I've discovered. One of the awesome things is, which I was really hoping was going to happen, every time you find something, your ship's log gets updated, and you have what's called the rumor map. And on the rumor map, you have all the information you discovered, and it links it together when you learn what links together. And I was like, that's going to be really annoying if the ship's log doesn't update with the time loop. But that seems to be plugged into something, like a black box sort of thing. So your ship's log always stays the same no matter if you go into a time loop sort of thing.
It's like a system. Okay.
Pretty cool. You can talk
it's
to
a quantum box.
It's very much like Groundhog Day in a lot of ways. Like, you talk to NPCs and you're like, oh, this statue came to life and stared at me, and you're like, yeah, okay. Or you can like say to an NPC, yeah, by the way, the sun's about to explode in 22 minutes. You're going to die. And he's like, yeah, okay. But anyway. So this is what I'm talking about. So this you can have a overship of all the planets you've been to and haven't been to, and then this is the rumor thing.
Nice.
So this shows you everything that you've looked at. So all the information you know so far, you can mark it on your hub, so you can go straight there, and then also you can see if you can learn more stuff from that area. The interesting thing is you have oxygen and you have fuel, and even though you're stuck in a time loop, so dying doesn't matter as much as it would, you're still grounded because you have. If you want to keep it, if I go somewhere really far away and I run out of fuel, I have to get back to my ship. Otherwise, I'm gonna die, and then I'm gonna have to restart the entire loop again. So it's like, in this weird way, even though I'm in a time loop, dying has big consequences as well, or like not having enough fuel and stuff. So you're still like very grounded, in a way, which is really cool. This is my first takeoff, and I was royally fucking it up, but. You get used to it pretty fast.
Oh my god, what is going?
And I was like, okay, let's put autopilot on and then land on the moon and repair the ship. Good thing I didn't damage my back end. So one thing I found is I always repaired my ship no matter what, even though it would respawn. And there wouldn't be, and the damage would be gone because I looped. But if you needed to use your ship in that same time loop, you had to repair things, and you can choose whatever thing you want to repair. Because say like, I've only got a little bit of time, I'm just going to have to not repair the landing camera, sort of thing. And the thing I find really interesting about this game is it goes, here's this giant open world. Go and explore. You can go to any planet in any order. I went to the moon because it was close. But I could have gone straight to like Giants Deep and gone straight, or I could have gone straight to the twin planets and explored there. Like the game has so much freedom and how you want to explore. That's what feels really great. And you're just like, throughout the entire time, you're just like this guy in space, basically. And a lot of the time it is terrifying.
It has like, I'll say like it captures like the idea of like space, I guess discovery or like exploration space.
There's
like,
plenty of NPCs talk about learn more. Like he was saying, like if you go to the North Pole on the Atoll Rock, that's the best place to search for things. And he's saying how back when your people had very bad rocket technology, used to come to the moon all the time because it was an outpost, and they used to test the ships by going to the moon. But now nobody comes around anymore, and he's feeling pretty sad, just sitting on his rocking chair on the moon. But I'll go like this is. I picked up recording again. I think on my second day in the I was like let's see what's happening with the sun. I then flew towards the sun because there's like a little space station or something on the sun, right? And I was like, I'll fly, and I accidentally flew into the sun. And I was like, oh shit, I'm dead. So then I spawned again for my next loop. But I saw this message that said there's a horror down this tunnel, and this is what I was talking about. Like this game can be terrifying at times, and then you go down here, and then you just see this.
Well, okay.
I'm on the twin planets, and the really, really interesting thing about the twin planets is I'm in some caves, and there's a constant stream of sand being sucked from one planet to another. But so when you're in the first half of your loop, you can go and explore the caves. But they're slowly flooding with sand as the sand gets moved from one planet to the other. You can see like the ancient bones of like this deep sea kind of fish thing that was living in there.
That's an anglerfish.
Yeah, an anglerfish sort of thing.
Massive.
But then you go to the and then eventually these caves I'm in, I won't be able to get through them because if you see on the right there, that there's sand constantly falling. So these caves are slowly flooding with sand, but at the same time, the sand is being taken from the other twin planet and it's slowly revealing a ruins. So it changes which planet you go to based on how much time you have left until the sun is going to explode, which is really interesting. These are escape pods that the Naomi built, and I found one in space, and then I was exploring through it, and then the escape hole fell off, and then I fell into a fucking black hole, and I was like, that was terrifying. I fell directly into a black hole, and then I came out the other side, and there was a white hole, and I was like, I'm really confused how white holes work. I think.
Yeah, so I guess the idea there is like the speculation that you go through a black hole, you come out the other side, like through a wormhole out of a white hole. Whereas the white hole is like the exact, like the black hole, you get past the event horizon, you can't go out. The white hole is the exact opposite. You can't go back into the event horizon if you come out of it. You're not expected to survive that trip, if that is even.
So this is how my rumor mill is expanding.
Oh.
And they do eventually like start to connect up. They're like split up by planets. And then when you figure out how they connect to each other, they like start connecting.
That's a really cool idea, actually, like an information system. Yeah, okay.
It's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna go to. I think I'm deciding to go to the other planet and stuff. So this is how the Ash Twins work. So I'm on the Inbetween, but then it's slowly filling full of sand. So, but now that I've been on this planet for a while, the other planets has revealed some ruins, sort of thing. So if you see here, this entire planet and ruins was all sand, and I couldn't see any of this. But now, like, the sands move planets. Like, there's super interesting, like, just small things in this game, sort of thing. So I was just repairing my gear. Okay. So this is the sand thing that's like constantly moving sand between the two planets.
I don't think it's very realistic at that point, but oh my god,
well, it's kind of like there's like a mixture of you know, sci-fi. It's like a mixture of science and like fiction, right? It's very sci-fi. Like there's alien technology, there's crystals, there's alien matter, there's ghost matter, sort of thing.
It's very Doctor Who logic where nothing actually makes sense, but it's still consistent.
So here I am scanning some more stuff. I was putting a scout through to see what was behind these cactuses I couldn't get through, sort of thing. And then I was just like minding my own business, and I was like, oh fuck, the sand thing's coming. I didn't realize it could get me here, and I just got sucked up to the other planet, and I was like, oh, my ship's still on that planet. Okay. So I'm getting sucked up here to the other planet.
Are you fucked it then?
Yeah, maybe. The cool thing is, like, I got stuck in space without my ship, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to be stuck in space until I run out of fuel, sort of thing. Which I was like, oh, you just slowly die when your oxygen ran out, and I was like, that might not be that good sort of gameplay. But the thing they did was, if you run out of jet fuel, the jetpack starts using your oxygen fuel instead.
Oh, okay.
So if you run out of jet fuel, you eventually suffocate because you'll run out of oxygen instead. That's kind of how they stop you from just aimlessly floating in space if you get lost, which I think is an interesting gameplay decision.
You should always kill yourself in other ways.
Well, if you're like stuck in the middle of space, you can't really do anything.
Oh yeah, sure.
So if you saw that blue light coming out, like before the sand moved over, that was an escape pod sort of thing, and now it's completely covered in sand.
Yeah.
There I was trying to get back to the other planet, and I was sending out scouts and stuff. There's the other escape. So you kind of learn about these escape pods that the Naomi were using to get around. Here's Chert, as I said. He's playing the drums, and when you first go and talk to him, he's very much like, oh yeah, I'm studying the stars. Some of them are blowing up. I'm not really sure what's happening. And then as you get further on, he's saying, oh, all the stars are dying. There's going to be a supernova. Don't you understand? Everything's going to explode. He starts to realize that we're going to die, basically.
Yeah, because if you look up into space, like the stars are slowly going out, right?
Yeah.
I say slowly.
But he realizes too many stars are dying at once.
Yeah.
And then all you can do is, when you talk to him, is nothing matters, and then you can say, like, let's watch the sun explode together, sort of thing.
Did you do that?
Pretty interesting.
Ahead, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come sit with me, fellow traveler. Let's sit and watch the stars die.
Sure, why not?
If you can say if it helps, we're in a time loop, so none of this really matters. And then he's like, well, if that helps you. And then he goes,
That helps. So you think you get like a religion going? Like, yeah, if that helps you.
time loop, you say? So this music, I think, starts playing just about when the sun's about to explode. So it's a nice little audio cue to tell you when you're
It's
about
like
to
a
run
sad
out of
song
time.
at the end, right?
Yeah. But we'll watch the sun die on the twin planets, and then we'll end it here and wrap it up. Wanted to get a good view of the
end of things.
Yeah. It's not like completely like not like there is some actual science in here, like how the star explodes and novas and stuff, which is pretty interesting. Oh, did I miss it? Did I miss it? There it goes.
Yeah, I guess I should kind of explain like the star, like it runs out of fuel. So, like it gets to a certain point where like the fusion happens at the core of the star. It eventually runs out of fuel. It turns out that the stars are only being kept up by like the fusion process, and when it goes, gravity completely takes over.
I love the small detail that you get to just watch everything you did and like quickly replay.
Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It reminds me of like a flashback in like one of those like sci-fi films or Star Trek even. They're really cool effect.
Did I talk about the fact that every time you wake up, the exact same thing happens? This ruin up there explodes, and it wasn't until like 10 loops in that I went and investigated that. I was like, oh, maybe every time I wake up, it keeps showing me this thing blowing up. Maybe I should go to Giant's Deep and figure out what the hell's going on there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like, for me personally, as soon as I learned something about a planet, I immediately went back to that planet to learn more about that planet. It's kind of how I played it.
Okay.
But it's like built in a way where you could go to any planet in any order and it would make sense. Like you'd eventually figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
I think this, for me anyway, this information web, I guess, is like would kind of help with that. It's like it kind of, it doesn't matter what order you start in or what order you go even. Yeah, I really like this. Like, I'm a big sucker for tech tree, as you know.
It's a rumor
information
tree.
web. Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely, if you've watched it this far and you're like on the fence about playing this game and you think there's definitely so much more I could talk about, and I haven't finished playing the game. I wanted to talk about it in a state where I didn't know everything about it myself, so I could kind of talk about it from like a position of somebody who kind of wanted to know what the core deal of the game was, but maybe wanted to explore the mystery on their own. I'd say there's definitely still credit in someone like Tony or somebody else playing this game, because it definitely is still a lot of fun, and there's lots of stuff I haven't said yet. That's way more. There's tons of stuff I want to talk about that I haven't, because
there might be a future video maybe though.
Yeah,
hopefully things you want to talk about or not.
If you've watched this far, you're at least a little bit interested in learning more about the Outer Wilds, not to be confused with
the Outer Worlds. I'm very interested in the Outer Worlds. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Well, that's the Outer Wilds. Check out this game. It's fucking amazing. It's intriguing. It's fun. It's great. It's thought-provoking. It's terrifying a lot of the time. It's just an all-round great game, sort of thing. I'd highly recommend this. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.